What is up, YouTube? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to touch base on shading for beginners. If you're new to this channel, I'm Brandon from Tattooing 101, and make sure you're liking and subscribing down below so you can keep up to date on all the content we come up with each week. Of course, it's always going to be tattoo related, so if you're an aspiring tattoo artist or trying to get into a better studio, all of these little tips and tricks are going to help you out tremendously. So there's going to be a couple things that you're going to need in order to go along with me in this video. Obviously, you're going to need some mags or shader needles. You're going to need some sort of ink and the fake skins that you are practicing on. I recommend real skins or Frankenskins, something of that caliber, so you could be able to clearly see the transitions you're making in the skin. So today what we're going to be working on is just a simple skull design. This is going to be really easy for you to see all the different shades in the actual design. Now, something for beginners, I highly recommend that you stick to traditional shading whenever you are first starting out until you can get comfortable with that, and then you can go on to pendulum shading and things like that in the future. So we're going to stick to a traditional design to start out with, something not super big so you could really focus on getting nice transitions and things like that. So let's get into the video.
Okay, so here's the design we're working on, just a traditional Grim Reaper. Now, what we're going to be focusing on is traditional shading. So what I mean by that is my needles go into the fake skin and then you just whip it out. I'm going to show you over on this corner exactly what I'm talking about. So right here my needles are going to go in, and then you just whip out your hand right like that. And what you're going to see is transitions from black into really, really small dots getting further and further apart. So I'll do it a little bit quicker. So getting used to that movement right there. Once you have that down, you can practice on a corner like I did. Once you have that down, you could jump onto the actual design. What we're going to start out with is the actual black parts of the design. So what I'm going to do is just small circles right like this. And then if it doesn't saturate it completely, we'll go this way. And then you just do a cross-hatching motion, and you just go the other way with it, and it'll completely saturate that area. One thing to practice is your needle control, so you know exactly where your needles are in retrospect to the actual cartridge. What I mean by that is, so right here I'm going to show you exactly what that means. I'm going to go by the actual cartridge, so right here instead of the needles. So if I'm looking at my cartridge, I'm going to follow my cartridge the whole way up that line. Now what that did was leave a perfect space where my needles are away from the bottom of the cartridge. So knowing that the bottom of the cartridge is not where your needles actually are, and focusing on where they are will help you a ton whenever it comes to like tattoo shading and filling in areas, because you want to make sure that your shading is going clear up to that line. Right like that. Now we'll get into these eyes, do the exact same thing. And you might not get it right away, but just practice on going right up to that line with your mag. For this one we're going to do the cross hatching, so we're going to go back through the other way. Right like that, and that is how you do the cross hatching. It's super important to practice all these techniques on fake skin, because if you're doing it on real skin and you're just getting a feel for everything, you're going to really overwork the area. So right here we're going to start our whip shading. So starting from the top and then just whip shading down. So right here, I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. Starting at that line right there. like that. And the more you practice with this, the longer your shading can be. You know, if you're first starting out, focus on just getting the movement down, and then when you're confident, you could really get your shading to, you know, transition really far out. Right like that. Then we're just going to go through and keep practicing that method. So the goal is to get from a solid black and have enough transitions with gray tones from your needles going into the skin in different areas and then into the actual fake skin tone. One thing if you're trying to get into traditional style tattoos, the best thing that's going to help you is doing the shading in them before you actually start the tattoo. Knowing exactly where everything needs to go will help you out a ton, so you're not second guessing yourself or trying to figure out, you know, where the shading needs to go mid-tattoo. And then once you get comfortable doing it, you don't have to do that anymore. You'll just eventually know where you want the shading to be. Now when it comes to traditional style tattoos, I don't really use a gray wash. This is solid black. And starting with this kind of method is going to help you be able to get really nice clean shades, because it's really unforgiving. So if you go too dark, obviously it's too dark. So you can clearly see exactly where, you know, you're just staying in one area too long and it'll just show out too dark. So this is a great way to be able to see all of your shade marks, all of the little dots in the actual skin, to know that you're doing it correctly. So yeah, if you're doing this exercise, I recommend you use just solid black for this at least. Right here I'm just holding my mag to the side to make some of the marks on the actual mouth. Right like that. And then we're just going to finish up the hood. For the volts, I'm using it at about a 9, but you'll understand your machine, you know, what works for you. This is a direct drive machine, it's a pen style machine, and it has 4 strokes. So obviously you're going to be using different kind of voltage depending on what machine you're using. But yeah, I'm using a 9 to a 9.5 right now. That's why my hand speed's probably a little bit faster than what yours would. And that is how you do traditional shading on practice skins. I hope this was able to help you guys out, and if you like content like this, make sure you like and subscribe down below and hit the little bell notification so you can keep up to date on all the content we make. As always, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.